Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the Canadian stereotypes that are kind of sort of true. So I am a Canadian from Toronto living in Houston, Texas, and I have heard every single stereotype that you can possibly imagine. And there are a lot that are absolutely ridiculous, and then there are some that are actually true. Exaggerated, yes, but also true. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Canadians are all really nice. I like to think that this is a true stereotype because I do think that Canadians in general are nice people. Obviously, anywhere that you go in the world, there's gonna be some people that are not very nice. That's just a given. But I think in general, across Canada, people are pretty nice. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're fairly reserved as a culture. And also we're very polite, which goes into the second stereotype that we apologize a lot. This is something that we do. We apologize all the time. If we run into a door, we will apologize to the door. If we're interrupting somebody, we'll profusely apologize. It's just something that you hear quite often in Canadian culture. We say sorry a lot. And we also say sorry different than Americans. Sorry. We do actually say A, we just don't say it as much as what people think. So the stereotype is that Canadians end every single sentence with the word A. We don't do it with every sentence, but we do it quite a bit. It depends on who you are, obviously. There are some people who do it all the time, and then there's some people who will never say A. It really depends on who you are, but we do say it. Canadians are immune to the cold. This one, I think, is a little bit ridiculous. At least I thought it was a little bit ridiculous. So obviously I feel cold. Like when it's cold outside, I feel cold. But where this stereotype kind of comes into play is that we are better equipped to deal with cold. We have different standards of what is cold. So a lot of the northern states in America will be able to relate to this because you guys get it cold as well. I can handle a lot more cold than somebody from the south. So what's cold for me is like -30 Celsius. That is unheard of in the South. So anything that basically is above 10 is pretty much like shorts weather. So we just have a different standards. We're not immune to it. We will still get frostbite. We will still be cold. We still don't like the cold. We can just handle it a lot better. Hockey is a big deal in Canada. It really is. And honestly, I didn't really think I would miss it all that much until I left. So for us, so many people play hockey, girls and boys when they're young. And then also anytime you go into a bar or a restaurant or anything like that, it's always the hockey that they have up on the TV, if it's in season, of course. And even just like growing up. So growing up, my brother played hockey. And so we would always spend our time at the hockey arena playing with all of the other kids that were there. We were there all the time. And then even Friday nights, kind of like how in America you go to like Friday night football, we did that with hockey. We do love it. Yes, we love Tim Hortons. If you guys don't know, Tim Hortons is like a donut / coffee shop. They're literally anywhere. Every single town, even if the town is just a couple of houses, will usually have a Tim Hortons. And I think we can all agree that Tim Hortons coffee and Tim Hortons donuts aren't like the best things in the world. It's more just a comfort thing for us. Like anywhere you go, you can find a Tim Hortons. So we're just so used to eating it. And then oftentimes, like it's a thing in childhood. If you ever go on a road trip, you go to Tim Hortons, or, you know, on a Sunday, like before or after church, you would go to Tim Hortons. It's more of like a cultural thing. Yeah, the food and stuff is decent, but it's not the best in the world. We just love it because it's a part of our like national identity. We do actually love maple syrup. So Canada is the biggest maple syrup producer, I think, in the world, and we do eat it on a lot of stuff, and we do love it. So mostly all the stuff that we eat it with is breakfast things, but there's also like some drinks and stuff that you can put it in, or desserts that you can bake it into. In elementary school, you go on to school trips to go to like the sugar shacks, I think they're called. We did that pretty much every year, and you can kind of learn how to like tap maple syrup, and it's just really cool. We love it. Poutine. If any of you guys are French Canadian watching this, please don't hate me. I'm an English speaker. Poutine is basically fries with cheese curds on top and then gravy on top. And the way that the gravy is, because it's hot, it will melt the cheese, and it's just the most glorious thing. And they have poutineries, which are basically just shops that sell different types of poutine. It is the best late night food after you come home from the bars. It's like heaven on earth. And lastly, the stereotypes that Canadians love beer. I would say yes. Canadians are big beer drinkers. We do love our beer, especially in the smaller towns. Like I grew up in a small town and that was always the go-to drink for pretty much everybody. You bring like a case of 2-4 case, which is basically a case of 24 beers, but we call it a 2-4. So we do love it. And those are the Canadian stereotypes that I think are actually kind of sort of true. If I missed any of them, because I'm sure that I did, please let me know down in the comment section. We can talk about it down there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.